Shawn Ray for Digital Muscle. I'm here with Milos the Mind Sarcev, and we are in Shibuya, Japan, at the Amateur Olympia competition. I had a chance to catch up with Milos, who's been traveling all over the world, a lot of time over in China, the owner of the former Coliseum gym out in Placentia. Milos, you've had a storied career because you've competed in like 100 professional shows.
I competed 110 times, but only 72 professional shows. And at the time, that was the record until Vampire Dexter Jackson surpassed me. But yeah, for a while, I had a record at the time.
How old were you when you retired, your last competition?
I was actually 39.
39 years old when you retired. Yeah. Dexter's still going at 50. Nobody's going to break that record.
Nobody. I mean, Dexter's, and as you see, he's still competitive. I mean, this year, yeah, maybe he's still, a little bit, but he's still competitive.
Yeah, you had an interesting career. I remember you came on the scene, I want to say, in the late 80s or early 90s as a pro.
Early 90s as a pro, but you probably don't even remember 1989. I did the Orange County Master Classic, and you were in the audience, and actually gave me the trophy, and I was like, oh my God, this is Shawn Ray. And then, of course, I came to your gym, basically, and took over the gym. I started competing with you.
Took over the old Gold's gym, which was the Powerhouse gym.
Powerhouse gym, and then I converted into the Gold's, and then Coliseum gym. But, back in that time, you gave me some valuable advice, and that was, don't ever refuse a photo shoot.
That's right.
And, so I took this to heart, and then I did so many photo shoots, and I was all over the place. Covers of the magazines, and then I got the opportunities.
Yeah, I think the business of bodybuilding has to do with getting the footprint, making sure you get it documented, because there's not a lot of people that go to shows. So you got to make sure you have the pictures or the videos, because now you're posting a lot of pictures from the old magazines. And today's, if you were in the game for the last 5 years, you might not have ever bought a magazine. And you're finding these old pictures and you're putting them back out there for the first time. But that being said, you came from the old Yugoslavia.
Yes.
So that was kind of an awkward time coming out of that transition from Yugoslavia, Serbia, and all that. How did you get into bodybuilding?
Well, I say this is how probably all of us start. You get in some different sport, and then you have like strength training for that sport. I did judo, and as a part of strength conditioning was weightlifting. And then by accident, I've seen some magazine laying around, and then I've seen the pictures of Sergeant Gray, Arnold, Frank Zane. It's like, oh my God, human body can actually look like that. Don't forget that back in the time that was communistic country, that was very close. We didn't. Training for body, making muscles, that was like unheard of. Right. But then when I've seen like, oh my God, man physique can look like that. Then I realized, and I asked myself a question, and I asked this question to thousands of people. When guys say, oh, you bodybuilders, muscle heads, I don't like muscles. You have the opportunity to be muscular, fat, or skinny. Don't tell me you're going to choose anything other than muscular. Human body, man's body is supposed to be muscular, in shape. So after I saw Arnold, I decided, okay, this is really what I want to do. Did you see Arnold
in person or in magazine?
No, just in magazine. I never seen, of course. Even that was a rarity. By accident, somebody had that magazine. But really, it was an eye-opener for me, and then I decided, okay, I want to be the first Yugoslavian guy to make it to the Olympia, and that was my goal.
Were you the first?
Yeah, no, I wasn't actually. No, I was the first at the Olympia, yeah. I was not the first pro. First pro was Nasser Al-Sambari.
Right. And you guys were good friends back in the day, training with each other, lived with each other.
Yeah. I mean, I lived with Sonny Schmidt.
Oh, that's right.
But 1994, Nasser Al-Sambari came to San Diego, and then we started training for a while.
You kicked him into the pros.
Yeah, I mean that's when he really became very competitive and Olympic contender. But I made it. Interestingly, I didn't really believe it. 1991, I was only preparing for 17 days, for San Jose Invitational. My father had a stroke. I was back in Serbia, Yugoslavia still, and then after he recovered and told me, okay, you can go. You don't need to stay here. I had 17 days to prepare, and I lived in San Diego. That was close. I said, okay, let me just, test the waters. But I just wanted to be on the stage and maybe be lucky enough to stand next to some, high-level pro.
Right.
And there was John Brown, my idol back in the time, that was competing. There was Albert Beckless, and I was just there, happy to be on stage.
Like most of us at the beginning.
Yeah, and then I actually got the first call out, I won a signature round and I placed top 3 and I qualified for Olympia.
So that's when you knew you could actually do the business of bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I gave myself a 5-year plan before I came to the United States, 87. I wanted in 5 years to win Miss Universe, turn professional, qualify for Mr. Olympia, and make a living of bodybuilding. And
let's slow down. You're going way too fast. Let's back up. Was Nasser Yugoslavian?
Yeah, his mother is Yugoslavian and father is Egyptian, but he competed as a Yugoslavian competitor. Okay. So if you see, IBB list of competitors coming from Yugoslavia, yes.
Okay, now we can fast forward. So then you did all these competitions, you turned pro, traveled the world, then you got into this whole training thing, and your training style is notorious. I mean, you've been working with a lot of great athletes. Obviously, he and Todd are the promoter of this show. He's just one of the many. Are you a better coach than you were an athlete? Because it seems like a lot of people gravitate to your style of training.
Yeah, so now, let me say it honestly. I was maybe unlucky to compete with you in your era. In the 1990s when there was Shawn and Kevin and Flex and Dorian and Nasser and Lee Priest and Christopher Meyer, Paul Gillette. I mean, it was very, very deep. So me going into the show, I know that at best I could look for a top 10, so at the time, I didn't really even have that winner's mentality that, okay, let me just push a little bit further. But I developed my style of training and contest preparation. You probably, like me, you never competed out of, 1988 at first Olympia. I say you were not really. Yeah, but even let me remind that even your condition back there, we would beat many Olympia competitors this year. You're just off for that time.
I was, but I'd still beat Albert Beckles. I beat Robbie Robinson. I took out a few guys, and
then So I never really competed out of shape. So I did 72 pro shows, and then I started preparing other guys. Like you said, Nasser was actually the first guy that I prepared. Help him out. And if you see from 94 to 95 jump that he made.
Let me ask you some questions about that, because a lot of people want to know what was going on in the 90s. So coming out of the 80s, Lee Haney was like the biggest thing that we had seen as Mr. Olympia. And then suddenly we got into the 90s, and like 1991, 92, things started to change with the arrival of Dorian Yates. Then we started hearing things about the growth hormone, and we started hearing things about insulin, and the dynamic of the sport seemed to change. They don't call you Milos the Mind for nothing. You dove in and discovered, experimented, and found out some things that a lot of bodybuilders gravitated towards you for to help share the knowledge. What did you find in the 90s that was beneficial to the bodybuilders, because they also changed in the 90s for the worst?
Yes. Well, you see, this is, as you said, Dorian Yates arrived in 1993 being a monster. I mean, I always gravitated towards your look, Kevin Lebroni, Flex River.
Artists.
Yeah, bodybuilding is not just about the size. And I think really the judges were so confused when Dorian stepped on the stage. I mean, he was top condition, he was muscular, he wasn't lacking anything. So they let's vote it for him. But still, you and Flex could have beat him. Even in 1993, it was just like overwhelming mass that stepped on the stage. If they were looking for what they're supposed to be looking now, aesthetics, balance, shape, conditioning, you and Flex, could beat the Dorian. And,
so do you think Dorian was the game changer? He changed
the game. He was.
Why? How did he do that?
Well, with this, incredible muscle mass. I mean, really, he was more inclined towards this heavy-duty style, just pushing to the limit. And you have to, take the hat off and say like he has accomplished so much. I don't think he was genetically so blessed like you and Flex, Kevin, but he, managed to be on the top. But with the arrival of the mass monster, there's a message now to us. Okay, as a bodybuilders, how can we improve in the aspect of muscle mass? That's when I started researching about growth hormone and insulin in combination of.
Was that good for the sport or bad?
Well, I would say, right now they say like I'm the worst thing that happened to bodybuilding, me and Dorian, because I introduced insulin, and then a lot of people nowadays they're contributing bloated guts to the insulin and GH.
Is that the reason mostly?
Yes, it's incorrect usage. So that's a fine line. Have you seen my stomach blown?
Incorrect usage or
insulin
abuse.
And abuse. Incorrect. With insulin, everything is about timing, and you cannot be playing with fats and carbohydrates at the same time. Insulin is not selective; it's going to store into the tissues both glucose, amino acids, but also triglycerides. So people were, doing ketogenic type of diet, switching to the insulin and having a high, triglyceride levels because of high fat intake, of course he would have even intramuscular triglyceride, so they would just, blow up.
It all sounds like Chinese to me. Is it more dangerous messing around with that than it was just eat, sleeping, and training and using anabolics?
Yes, it's more dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, this is where I came into the play. I experimented first on myself. I found a way to work. As you see, Nasser from 1994, average top 10 Olympic contender, became a top 3 Olympic contender next year, or one.
But what happened to Nasser? Because towards the end of Nasser's career, he couldn't bust a grape. He couldn't make the top 10 of a regular pro show, whereas he once was a number 2 bodybuilder in the world in '97.
Yes, he was a top contender since 1995, really.
Overusage?
Yeah, overusage, and then, it catch up with you. You have to know how to cycle
window.
it. Yeah, and second, and as you can see, the only guy that really continue improving is Dexter Jackson, and he never probably touched the insulin, knowing him. But I'm guilty of using. I used every single show from 1993. I have never stepped on the stage without insulin loading. I have never been.
So do you consider yourself a guru, or do you consider yourself a trainer, or do you consider yourself a coach? There's a difference in all three.
Well, I'm a coach.
Are you a Chad Nichols coach? Are you a George Farah coach?
Oh, well, what's the difference? They'll tell you.
Well, George Farah doesn't have blood on his hands.
He doesn't
have any blood on his hands, George Farah.
In the sense of
I don't know if anybody that's died on his watch.
Yeah, but okay, so who does die with Chad Nichols?
Oh, we're talking about Chad? A lot of people have expired. Dallas McCarver's worked with Chad. Nasser El Somebody has worked with Chad. Don Youngblood has worked with Chad. Everybody thinks I have it out for Chad, but he's trained with a lot of bodybuilders that are dead.
I mean, look, it's extreme sport, and it's horrible. I don't want to say that Chad has anything to do with it, because
coincidence, like Tom Brand said.
I mean, it's extreme sport. You're playing with the fire. Yeah, I wouldn't say that you can point the finger at. I mean, on that note, I'm going to say that when I was in Australia, Luke Wood is one of my best friends.
I remember you worked with Luke Wood closely.
Very closely. One of my best friends, and I went to his house, slept in his room. His brother let me in, and there were some rumors that, I'm guilty for his death, and with that, and then.
Sonny Schmidt was your roommate.
Sonny Schmidt, yeah.
You got a couple people that are not here.
He died of cancer.
I know.
So, you can point out.
Everybody
I had nothing to do with obviously Luke's death, and that was really disturbing for me. But when something like this happened, I mean,
everybody blanks.
let's say I die and you were my training partner back in 2003, and I'm going to say, Shawn, what did you tell me I was to do? So, let me clarify this.
Is it good to have a coach? I mean, I know that's what we do, but you didn't have a coach. I don't remember. John Brown worked out with you, kind of trained you, planted seeds, but he didn't coach you, tell you what to eat.
Well, same thing with you. I mean, you never had a coach.
Right.
We all did ourselves. Kevin, all these other guys.
But you're having tremendous success working with people that are. One of the guys competing turned pro under your watch last year winning the show.
Yes, I hope. I hope my training partner today, Matt Maldonado, is going to turn pro too. So I'm hoping for that. Do you need a coach? Not necessarily. I mean, there's so much information out there. Like you and I did it ourselves. You know what is healthy to eat. You know how to strip out the body fat. You know how to train. I mean, I enjoy training with you.
But don't you think it's different that we learned and we didn't just jump in with some guy that told us what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, and all that other stuff? Don't you think you have to learn your body?
Yeah, you have to learn body, and this is why I'm a coach. It's bad for my business to say you don't need a coach, but in reality, you don't need it. Start doing yourself, do the research, train, diet, compete, apply what is useful, discover what is useless, right? Yeah. And create your own. And then if you need, some coach to bring you to another level, by all means, then you can consider it.
So let me fast forward real quick and we'll wrap it up. This year's Mr. Olympia, did the right guy win the competition?
I did a review. I don't know if you saw it. Look, Brandon Currie has the best physique. If I want to look like anybody, I would want to look like Brandon Currie. He has a tremendous aesthetics, V-taper, X-frame, but he was lacking in the leg department. So if I start judging his balances first, he didn't have a balanced physique. His upper body was overpowering his lower. Then if you look for conditioning, he wasn't in condition that Mr. Olympia should be on the stage when you win Sandra Trophy.
Was anyone?
Hadi Chapman was, I think, most complete and most striated, most conditioned. He was lacking back double biceps, and that's it. Everything else was super competitive.
So let's fast forward because it sets the stage for next year. Adi comes back, Brandon comes back, then you throw in there potentially Phil Heath, maybe a Shawn Roden.
Yes.
Is this a contest that's very slippery? Like, there's nobody that's holding on to it for the next 5 years?
Nobody's holding on, but I do think if Phil Heath comes back, he's going to come back with a vengeance and win that. I mean, if you see the pictures today from wherever he is with Hadi Chappan, he made Hadi looks like...
He's over in India right now, yes.
Yeah, he looked like middleweight. I mean, so let's face it, the gift, Phil Heath has the best...
It factor. 3D,
round muscle bellies. I mean, back double biceps is out of this world. Legs are crazy.
Can he beat James Flex Lewis? That's the question. If he jumps into the open, Flex Lewis, can he beat Phil Heath?
I'm friends with Flex, but Flex at his best and Phil at his best. Phil beats him.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Sorry,
We're gonna have to go to part 2. He's got Phil Heath next year. Well, we'll see. It could get very interesting. But right now, we're in Shibuya, Japan, at the Amateur Olympia. Milos the Mind. If someone wants to get a hold of you for coaching, what do they do?
Hey, go on Instagram, Milos Sarcev, or Facebook. It's nowadays, people are saying, "Oh, Milos, I couldn't get a hold of you." I'm like, what do you mean you couldn't get a hold of me? There's social media. Like, if I don't know how to find you, I would just type in Shawn Ray, and that's how I would find you. Same thing with me. It's Milos Sarcev, Milos Sarcev, and you can get me on Instagram or Facebook.
Hiding in plain sight. Milos the Mind Sarcev. Digital Muscle Media. I'm Shawn Ray.